will
This
help us
conference
to,
will now be recorded.
and so as we start this session, it is my prayer that it will help us to implement great projects in helpful and impactful ways. Let us always remember where there is a need, there is a Leo or a lion. Let us therefore prepare ourselves for greater service. This is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Fellow Lions and Leos, the focus of this workshop will be on chairing committees. It is my pleasure to introduce the facilitator, Lion Wendy Labari, MJF. Lion Wendy Stephen Labari joined the Lions movement in 1999, first as a Leo Club member. During her tenure as a Leo, she served as Leo President twice and was awarded Leo President of the Zone. 10 years later, she became a member of the Lions Club, exactly 1 week after getting married. And yes, as part of her honeymoon, she spent at her club's induction ceremony. Lion Wendy has served as Leo advisor, secretary, director, and various and as various and on as various chairpersons or as the chairperson of various committees. In 2011-2012, she served as Lions president, where she was awarded Lion president of her zone. The following year, she served in the cabinet of Lion Claudius Boncamper as chairperson of Zone 3C. She has served as the district IT coordinator for the past 7 years, while serving as the IT district's chairperson in 2018 on the team of the then district governor Lion Sherwin-Greenidge. She was awarded the Melvin Jones Fellowship. Lion Wendy is a Management Information Systems graduate of the St. George's University, having worked in the information technology field for the last 2 decades. She has a wealth of managerial and support expertise and experience in helping users effectively engage technology. Lion Wendy believes in Michael P. Watson's quote that says, and I quote, "Strong people don't put others down, they lift them up." End of quote. I now invite Lion Wendy to make her presentation.
Thank you, Sandra. Good afternoon. Good Saturday afternoon, Lions and Leos. Today, we're about to begin our session on committee chairpersons. And Chef, can you maximize for us, please? Slideshow. On the top, you would see slideshow. Just go into that option for me, thanks. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate all the committee chairpersons, whether you be a Lion or a Leo, that's in the training at the moment. And keep it interactive. We'll start at the get-go. I want to ensure that nobody falling asleep on me. So feel free to unmute your mic one at a time. Let me know if you've been a committee chair before, if this is your first time, or you've done it so many times right now you have it down pat, or you're just using this session as a boost. Can I get some responses?
Jenny Senqua from St. Lucia. This is my first time.
Nice to meet you, Manjusine.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Lion Valley Gonzalez Barrero, MJF, from Antigua, been committee chair a few times, so this is a boost, and I'm happy for this opportunity.
Happy to have you, Landval.
Gloria Bryan.
Go on, Land Gloria.
Gloria Bryan, MJS. This is the second time.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is Lion Carmen in St. Martin. This is my third time. First training, so I'm looking forward to this.
Okay.
Good afternoon to all Lions. Miriam, the Bridgetown Club. I'm just using this as a boost, and I welcome the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, fellow Lions. This is Lion Kevin from St. Martin. I'm getting the train.
Okay.
Brenda Huntman, Bridgetown Club.
Thank you, Land Claire.
Brenda.
Any Leos on the call? As a committee chair, or is it your first time?
Not a Leo. Anguilla Club. Information. I just want to understand, as incoming president, what exactly persons are supposed to be doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Land Melissa.
Lion Abraham Samuels, the Lions Club of Antigua. Not my first time as a committee chairperson. I'm using it as a boost.
Lion Yasmin James, Castries Club. First time.
Okay, Lion Yasmin.
Leo Keisha Alexander,
Thank you, Leo Keisha.
St. George's Leo Club. This is my first time and I look forward to an informative session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Lion Corinne from St. Martin. I'm the present president. I have been in committees before. I headed the fundraising committee like 2 years back to back, and also some other committees. I can't remember, but this is the first time I'm getting training, so I'm happy to be here to follow. Okay.
Leo Annika, Lucia, first time.
Okay.
Lion Carl Benkamper, Save a Lions Club. Not my first time, but using it as a boost. Thank you.
Thank you, Lion Carl. Okay, thanks for the feedback. We'll get started. Go right ahead, Lion Chef. Okay, 5 qualities that make a successful chairperson. You ought to be able to chair a meeting. As we know, if you're not able to manage what you're doing, then you wouldn't be able to succeed further. Understand the business that you're about to plan. If you're about to plan a fundraiser, at no point you should be discussing anything but attempting to raise funds. Ability to influence others. Strong personality. You should be able to take charge when you're chairing your session. Good communication. I know we have had chairs in the past. They chaired the entire meeting, and at no point they gave the others on the committee a chance to give their share of what they might have for the project. Next slide. Tools that make a successful chairperson. Come to your meeting with an agenda, a plan of action, and clear goals. Have a budget. These are your must-haves. Have a budget, even if it's in your mind and it is not yet on paper, have a budget for the project you're about to discuss. The knowledge of your club's key network. You need to know the ones you can call on to get the ice for the bar. You need to know the ones who for sure will never forget the banner at home. Have that great network. In this time of COVID, you need to have the knowledge of using Zoom, WhatsApp call, WhatsApp group conversations, go to meetings. This is the COVID chronicles we are now in. Know whatever medium is available. Be able to delegate when you come to the meeting. Do not hold on to all the responsibilities for yourself. Remember, there is a committee in place. Your committee can be 5 persons, it can be 25 persons. 25 persons, you better be planning a project that is 3 years down the road, because at 25 persons, I could almost guarantee you'll be wasting a lot of time in a committee meeting. All right, you don't need to have 25 persons if it's a project that you're planning for the near future. I would say maybe 8 persons at the maximum, according to the amount of persons you have in your club, of course. Be a good strategist. Consider succession planning. Very important point. Succession planning. When you go to the meeting, you should have already delegated, at least in your mind, who you would ask to make the little notes for you. It don't have to be big notes like what your secretary would take, but just somebody to draft the notes for you as you're the chairperson of the meeting. Have an ability to respect confidences. If for some reason persons are not able to attend a particular meeting, you don't have to give the reason to the rest of the persons what it is that you're unable to attend for. But it is important that you mention the fact that they're not there, knowing that they are also part of the committee. When your decisions are made, have the recording secretary record it. You will not remember everything in your head as a chairperson, hence you need to have these noted. Now, what do we avoid as a successful chairperson? Avoid being the person who talks the most at the meetings and not giving anybody else a chance to make their contribution. Do not cut out people of discussions. Besides the fact that it is rude, the purpose of you having a committee meeting is because you're involving others beside yourself. Meetings become unproductive if it is drawn out and too long. Avoid it. 2 or more persons to dominate a meeting, that is a no-no. That suggests that you're not in control of your meeting, and it may even turn out to be confrontational according to what is being discussed by the others. Again, do not stay too long and draw out your meeting, having the persons losing interest. Next slide, thank you. Club committees. We will start with the basic ones that the Constitution has said to us we must have. The Global Action Team. This team should be chaired by the club president and includes the club first vice president serving as the leadership chairperson. The club membership chairperson and the club service chairperson also makes up the GAT team or the GAT team. With the support of the board of directors, they develop and initiate coordinated plans to expand humanitarian service, achieve membership growth, and develop future leaders. Another one our Constitution says we should have, of course, the Constitution and Bylaws Committee. That committee is responsible for interpreting the club constitution and bylaws and may be charged with facilitating changes in accordance with amendment procedures. We know we have very many bylaws that sometimes we do not understand. Perhaps in your social meeting, one of these areas can be acknowledged and broken down to ensure that everybody understands what the committee is about. Another committee you should have in your club, a finance committee. This is most of the time chaired by the club treasurer. That committee establishes a detailed budget for the approval of the club's board of directors. They ensure proper documentation and authorization of funds, arrange for the annual audit of club accounts, and ensure the delivery of all financial information to the successor committee. Next slide, thank you. The membership committee. Of course, this committee is chaired by the membership chairperson. The committee has to ensure that membership growth is recorded. They have to ensure that the recruiting members have member satisfaction. This committee also verifies the qualification of potential members who are considered by the club's board of directors. The membership committee should include last year's membership chairperson, a vice membership chairperson, and any other club members interested in new member recruitment or satisfaction. The Marketing Communications Committee, chaired by the Marketing Communications Chairperson, to ensure effective internal and external communication goes out to the visibility of your community. Service Committee. Of course, this committee is chaired by the club service chairperson. You may have 12, 13, or just 3 service committees. Your service chairperson is supposed to be a part of each of these committees. This service committee assists in developing service goals and action plans, identifying potential projects, guiding project planning and implementation, and involving club members in meaningful service. This committee may also be responsible for applying for relevant LCIF grants and developing community partnerships as approved by your club's board of directors. The Information Technology Committee. This committee assists members by providing access and/or support to online tools and communication as needed. May also provide support and serve as your club webmaster. We have the opportunity as the Information Technology Committee to set up an e-clubhouse for your club. This is available online for every club, where you can build your own website through Lions Clubs International. Have your information technology investigate that for you. The Leadership Committee, chaired by the first Vice President, notifies club members of training opportunities offered by the district, multiple district, and Lions Club International, as well as non-Lions program that could benefit your club members. And of course, you have the special committees. From time to time, the president may appoint, with the approval of the board of directors, special committees as may be necessary for the running of your club. At this juncture, we take a break again. I want to ensure that you're still with me. And we're going to do an icebreaker. This is the question. In what color would you describe this past week and why? I will start with the Leos this time. Let me get the responses. Today's Saturday, we've just completed the last week. How would you say your last week was and why? We're building committees here. That's why we're having the conversations. Feel free to go ahead.
Afternoon again, Leo Keisha, St. George's Leo Club, Grenada. The past week, I would say white, because for me, it was a blur. It went by really, really quickly, and I can hardly remember what I did, to be honest. I don't feel like I was very productive. So I would say it was a blur, and blur for me is kind of white.
Okay. Thank you, Leo Keisha. Okay, I see Leo Tarisha says in the group chat that she had a green week because it's a color for new beginnings, and this week was quite informative for her. Well done, Leo Tarisha.
Leo Alvin.
Okay, Leo Alvin.
Yeah, Leo Club of St. Andrew, Grenada. The color I would use to describe the past week is gray, because it was very hectic, especially seeing that I've just returned to school and getting students to do the SVs and so forth. So yes, I would say it's gray.
All right, thank you.
blue because I think it was peaceful. And I
Nice.
associate blue with the sky and the sea. Very peaceful.
Thank you, Lion Gloria. Another lion?
Hi,
This is
Lion.
Lion Gloria Grenada.
Okay, Lion Gloria.
All right. I would say that past week was blue-green because we are about to embark on a very magnified, enormous project, and it calls for a lot of thinking, a lot of ideas to be put together. So we are about to embark on this project, and I'm seeing a green light, but still it's blue getting into green to take off.
Hi, this is
Lion Wendy, I would say mine was gray.
Gray?
Dark
Okay.
hair because I was sick. So I'm just getting back out now. So, Lion already from St. Martin.
Okay. All right. Hope you feel better.
This is Lion Carl from Saba. I would say it was orange. It was a bright week, new hopes, new beginnings, a great start for us. Thank you.
Good. You're in Saberland, Carl. Okay, I see Landonisa from Lions Club of St. Michael said her week was green because that's her favorite color. She's enjoying the green grass and trees since we've had we've had a little rain indeed. And she needed a little break from her 3- and 6-year-old children. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Lions and Leos. Okay, so here we have our international president, Dr. Jang Yol Choi. His theme is United in Kindness and Diversity. Along with his theme, Lions Club International has given us some global causes that we should be working towards. Those are cancer awareness, diabetes, environment and climate change, hunger, and homelessness. Here you will have our district cancer awareness team. And in reporting your projects on cancer this year, our strategic objective as we go out to assist with cancer is to help those affected by cancer to survive and thrive. These are the district cancer team members who will be engaging in those projects that you will be reporting to them. As we continue, I'll give you a little guideline as to what I think your reports should be looking like. Next slide, please. Here we have the district diabetes team. Again, our strategic objective to reduce the prevalence of diabetes and improve quality of life for those diagnosed. Next slide, please. Remember, we're still under the LCI causes that we will be supporting. Our district environment and climate change team. Our strategic objective for the environment and climate change projects we'll be engaged in this year is sustainably protect and restore our environment to improve the well-being of all communities. This is our district hunger and homeless team. Our strategic objective with hunger and homeless as an activity to ensure all community members have access to nutritious foods. Now we're on to our district governor-elect, Maureen Graham, PMJF. Her theme for 2020-2021, Building a Better Tomorrow Through Kindness. Our tagline, empower them. So we'll go on to speak a little bit more now on how we plan to empower in our activities. Our district governor areas include drug abuse and addiction, parenting and youth, sustainable empowerment, vision, LEO program, LCIF, and our District 60B forward. As a committee chairperson or the service chairperson, at the beginning of the year, the first thing you want to ensure that you get started with is working along with your treasurer and your secretary. Your treasurer, because you ought to put budgets in place for the projects and activities you plan to be engaged in this year. Especially if you will be working on projects and activities that you've been doing over the years, then you would have already had a budget in place. So it's just to improve on it or remove what did not work in the previous year. I would also say work with your secretary to put together a reporting form. This helps not only your secretary, but this helps you and your committee. Imagine you're going out to do you're doing a drug addiction and abuse workshop. You decide that you will be doing this for fifth form students in secondary school. By putting together a committee reporting form, already a committee reporting form details who will be the persons you will be targeting, when will be this project, as well as exactly what you plan to get at the end of this project. Are we trying to have fifth formers be afraid of drugs? Are we trying to get them to get their friends who they know are involved with drugs out of drugs? This is what your committee reporting form would show, what your plan is. So as you go along, if you are part of the secretary's training, as you go along, your reporting hours begin from the time you start planning this project. So when you report to Lands International, you tell them not the hours when you reported, when you actually held the addiction awareness campaign. This started from the time that committee gave the secretary a first form saying, this is what my plan is. That is where I think you should start as a committee chairperson. Work with your secretary, have a form in place so that they pass that form in with your budget and everything to your board of directors, so everyone is aware what is happening with that committee. That also helps you put certain dates and timeline in perspective, so that we know your committee is not the only one functioning. The other committee is also aware that this project is being had at this particular date. It has already passed through the board of directors. Let me work towards another date. As the chair of the committee, again, keep everyone in your committee involved. Like I said, assign a recording secretary so that all the job is not on you, and that way you keep everybody involved. Go around the table, ensure that you find out from the others, you're doing something on climate and environment change. Somebody else, you must have come with an idea to the meeting, but somebody could have a better idea than you. So let's go around the table, discuss what we think we should have. Again, this is all planning for your year, right? Talk about the climate change project you're hoping to initiate and get going with your plans right there and then. Be mindful, we are all humans. There would always be the one of the 8 on the table who may not have anything to share. Target this person, get them involved. They may not want to share at the time, but later on that evening, the next day, you can reach out to them, tell them you're looking at this, what are their thoughts on it? Maybe they might prefer a one-on-one. Again, we are not all the same, but do keep them involved in the loop. You would always have some persons who you assign duties to and they don't get it done. This will not go away. This happens every day. We know we have our busy lives. We know we have our personal lives. We know we have our work lives. But when we decided to commit to be a part of a committee, this went with it, that you have to put some time into planning whatever the committee is planning. Maybe for those kind of persons that you will have fallen out by the wayside, perhaps give them shorter deadlines than what you would give the rest of the persons. Maybe give them something that they only have to attend to on the day, but still keep them involved and a part of the committee. You can go through the slides, Lancha. Let them see the rest of the persons. If it's an annual project of your club, please again prepare the reporting form accordingly. As the IT chair, I have seen reports of persons telling me they have an eye clinic. Yes, I might have been the IT chair for the last 7 years and following your eye clinic, but your district governor changes every year, your zone chairs change every year. They're not aware of your eye clinic. Give us the history of your eye clinic before you give us what you did that particular day. You don't have the history, find it from the rest of your club members. Do not just give us a report that says, even you as a committee chair, you need to know that in order to prepare yourself accordingly. You have to have the history on a project that you're doing that's considered to be an annual project. This would help with planning and this would help with reporting. The project could have been since 1983 and you only joined the movement in 2003. Regardless, get a little history, give us a little one-liner or two-liners in order to report that to your committee reporting form that you pass to your secretary, and you would help her ease the job. So when she goes to report or your service chair goes to report, they in turn can put up the necessary information that comes from the club and not necessarily just you. Again, ensure whatever you're reporting is detailed enough that I feel like if I missed your project, I should have been in Antigua at the time when that project was going on. It sounded so good. Give some pictures. I personally prefer pictures that shows the project and not pictures that showing the members posing. That way it looks like you're actually involved in the activity and it gives a better picture as to exactly what was going on. Another important part that we seem to forget when we are committee chairs, do a SWOT analysis at the end of your project. SWOT, S-W-O-T, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We may think the project is good and it was not. Get feedback from the persons who attended the health fair. Ask them what they think could be improved. While you're there, perhaps maybe they could have done with a fruit bowl instead of just the water. You've had them there at a health fair for the last 4 hours and you didn't even offer them a fruit bowl. That is one thing you can improve for the next time. A simple thing as that. This is a basic example of why SWOT analysis is required at the end of a committee's project. You see how you can improve for the next year, or see how you can improve for the next month because your committee might be doing another project again. Okay, I'll take a pause here. Are there any questions for me? None? Crystal clear?
Hi, Lions Club, Grenada. the reporting form that you're speaking about for the committees. Do you suggest all committees use the same format, or it's up to the committees to decide on what to do?
I think it would be beneficial that you all have the same format and you report in the different whatever that you're planning. Because remember, this is the form that you're taking back to the secretary. So the secretary would have already agreed this is a basic information she requires on that form that will make it easier for her to report. So I think it should be the same form throughout the committees. Okay, any other question?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Lion Alicia from Lions Club of Bridgetown. Thank you for a very informative session. This will be my first time actually chairing a committee, and I am also a new Lion as well. Could you please give some advice in terms of budget planning, especially for persons who are not familiar with planning budgets? If you could give some advice. Thank you.
All right, Lionel. Well, I assume you were not at the treasurer's training, but I'll give you just a little something on what I know of budgets. Okay, so for the budget, it should be as best as possible close to everything that you have to have for the activity. So let's say we're planning a diabetes project. We're going to a primary school that we've heard of that have some not so good nutritional values. So we decide that we're going with a nurse and a doctor to that school to see how we can assist them with improving on their health as well as testing for diabetes. So you would draft up a budget to suit. The budget should include basic things. Remember, it's just a budget, right? So you have to include everything that is necessary. If you would be testing 200 students, how much is the test? How much is the test strips? Is the nurse that's coming, is she charging you for the service? How much is she charging? Is it per hour? The doctor that's coming to give the little speech on eating well, are they also charging you? Do they want you to rent a projector? Do they want you to loan a laptop for them? All these details should be included in your budget to ensure that you're covered with every possible area that you think you would need for that project. You may not spend any monies, but you still budget it. You may choose to ask a pharmacy for some test strips and get that donated, but you still have to budget it as if you were to purchase it. You may even want to include simple things as transportation for members to get there. Again, members may choose to just use their gas and go ahead, but just include it in your budget so you can have an idea as to exactly how much your project costed you. And of course, again, you need to record the hours spent planning for the diabetes project. Are we good, Alicia?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, are there any other questions for me?
Thanks, Lion. Wendy, Service Chairperson, Lions Club of St. John. You said to record the amount of hours spent planning. What about the amount of hours spent executing the project?
Yes, both of them, sorry, both of them. You need both of them recorded. Vanel, you have something for me?
Excuse me?
Did you have a question?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so, all right, it seemed like we have this under control.
One more thing,
okay.
My mind just running on the term post-mortem. Sometimes we use, have a post-mortem at the end of the project or activity. Is that a replacement for the SWOT analysis, or both of them can take this?
Yes,
we do
yes.
both, or one of the other?
Well, whichever one suits your need more. But it's more or less the same I was referring to, whether it be a postmortem or the actual SWOT. Okay, Lance and Leos, thank you very much. I think I have covered the areas I think was required. So I will end my presentation here.
Thank you very much, Lion Wendy, for a very detailed and informative presentation. I will now invite Lion Orlando Marshall, MJF, past president of Lions Club of Barbados Central, to move the vote of thanks on behalf of the 77 Lions and Leos who participated in this session. Lion Orlando.
Thank you. Good evening, distinguished Lions, Leos, and special invitees. This evening it is an honor to present Lion Wendy Labar and Melvin Jones Fellow, our facilitator from the Global Leadership Team, and Lion Siobhan Sutherland, our District IT Associate, for a very well prepared and comprehensive educational program, which I'm sure will be very helpful to teams who are looking for a successful future. So on behalf of the Lions and Leos of the Region 2 and 3, we say thank you and look forward for a future and more such workshops. Thank you.
Thank you, Lion Orlando. And as we bring this session to a close, I just want to remind that our next session starts at 4 p.m. It will focus on membership and will be facilitated by Lion Leroy Hines, MJF. After that, we have a session for LCIF coordinators and any other persons, Lions or Leos, who are interested in learning more about what the role of the LCIF coordinator is, and that starts at 5 p.m. And we conclude this series with our final session at 6 p.m. PR communication for PR and communication. The last session will focus on PR and communication, and it will be facilitated by Lion Beatrice McDonald, MJF. We look forward to seeing all of you. Why not give a Lion or Leo a call and invite them to join in our next sessions? See you online in the next session. Thank you so much.